Now, I have a confession to make, biathlon fans. The relay has historically been the most boring event in my opinion. I know this is very controversial to say because the relay is such a historic event in biathlon and there's so much prestige and pride that comes with the relay. But in my opinion, the relay has always been my worst event because it seems like there's always one team that just absolutely dominates and these other teams that don't have the full depth on their roster, they just can't compete. But I have to admit something. This year I've actually been extremely entertained with the relay, and so far, in my opinion, it's been some of the best biathlon racing that we've seen. From really tight head-to-head battles to surprise victories from some nations you don't expect, the relay has actually been really fun this year. So at the completion of today's relays in Hochfeld-Sinn, I figured I was going to have to wait until after Christmas to think about the relays again and see who's gonna come out on top. But then I saw this Facebook post on the Biathlon World Facebook page, and it introduced this concept of the golden relay. And basically what the golden relay is they took the best athletes from each leg and put them together on a single relay team. Now this sparked an idea in my mind. I wanna go back and take a look to see who were the golden relays from last season and compare them to each other to see who would have been the best golden relay. So that's what I'm gonna be doing in today's video. We're gonna be seeing who is the best golden relay from last season. How's it going, biathlon fans? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Halligan. This is my YouTube channel about biathlon. I am this close to 5,000 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button if you are a biathlon fan and you enjoy biathlon content. And maybe share this channel with your fellow biathlon fans to help me get to that 5,000 mark. All right, here we go. Now the first question is, how can we compare these golden relays? Well, luckily for us, we have real biathlon performance scores. Now I've talked about performance scores in the past, so I'm gonna real quick go over how they work. But if you want a better explanation or want to dive into the math a little bit more, head on over to realbiathlon.com. I'll leave a link in the description below for where you can read more about it. Let's say you have a hypothetical time of 10 minutes and you're trying to determine if that's good compared to the rest of the field. When you plot all the times for a particular metric such as course time, shooting time, even shooting performance, you start to get something that looks pretty normally distributed. And then from here you can calculate your z-score, or basically how many standard deviations you are from the mean. So in this scenario, the 10-minute time is about 4.4 standard deviations ahead of the mean. Now sometimes our distributions aren't perfectly uniform, and sometimes a time of 10 minutes could only be 1.4 standard deviations ahead of the mean. But if you think of someone like Johannes Tingesbo, his z-score could sometimes be really far ahead and his 10 minutes could be way ahead of the standard distribution. So in real layman's term, that is how z-scores work. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these z-scores and we are going to be able to compare the golden relays from each World Cup stop last year to each other to see who is the ultimate golden relay team. So I went through and I found all the best legs from every relay last year and put the athletes together in a hypothetical golden relay team. The first World Cup last year had a men's relay, and our team consists of Sebastian Stalder, believe it or not, taking us out on leg 1. Tarjei Bo is on leg number 2, Johannes Tingesbo leg 3, and Sebastian Samuelsson on home snow was able to bring up our anchor leg. Now, if you like this logo that I made for this team, I went through and made logos for each team, so let me know in the comments down below which logo is your favorite. But so far right off the bat, 3 really big names on this team, and Stalder, believe it or not, is actually gonna be our first guy, and quite frankly, not a bad one in my opinion. I think you need a guy with good shooting on leg 1, so you know you can keep the team in it. So, all right, let's move on to Hochfeld-Sinn here. Hochfeld-Sinn, starting off with Eric Perreault. Good for him. He had a good end of the season last year, so the fact that he had such a good relay early in the season is good that he made this team. There's Tarjei and Johannes again, going 2 and 3, and then anchoring with Quentin Fillon-Maillet, another Frenchman. So this team looks pretty stacked. Let's see what the other teams look like as we move to World Cup number 4 in Oberhof. We have Fabian Cloud starting it off for the Oberhof team. Sturlaholm Lagride enters the relay, the Golden Relay Challenge. And then there's the brothers again, Tarjei and Johannes. So far, these guys have been on every single team. As we move to Ruhpolding though, we stay in Germany, just head a little south. we have Team Ruhpolding. Now we're starting to get a little crazy here. Justus Strello is going to be our leg 1. Again, a good shooter, so I like that he's on leg 1. But here's Stalder again. I really didn't think I would not have picked Stalder to have been on any of these teams. And the fact that he's earned 2 spots now is pretty good. Tarjei Bo, there's that man again. He had the best leg on leg 3, so he's on this one. And then Philip Narvoth is a good one for Germany. So we got 2 Germans on German snow, which is pretty cool. Now, here we go to Novo Mesto. It's world champs, and look who is gonna be leg 1, Renny Zakna. I think everyone remembers Estonia's women's relay team had a great relay in Novo Mesto at the World Champs, but apparently Renny Zakna won leg number 1 for Estonia at this relay, so good for him. There's the brothers again, Tarjei and Johannes, and then anchoring it up with Kantan Fiumae. And then we have one more relay this season, and our golden relay team from Soldier Hollow is Michael Krishmar from the Czech Republic. And then there are the brothers again, Tarjei and Johannes, and then Martin Ponsaloma is your anchor leg. So first of all, right off the bat, Tarjei Bo is on every single team. So that just means that he's a real asset to have on your relay team. So that's pretty cool to see. A lot of Johannes Tingus Bo on these teams as well. But as I scroll through the list here, I'm trying to think of who is going to be the best team. I like this one from Hawkfieldson, Eric Pro, super strong, and then you have 3 really big superstars on legs 2, 3, 4. That being said, this team from Oberhof is also pretty strong. We have Cloud starting with the Norwegian, dominant Norwegians to back him up. So I think this Oberhof team could be pretty good, but we will take a look. I don't know. I don't think this Ruhpolding crew is gonna do so well. And I think this one's a pretty good team, but I don't know. Like Zakna on paper is a little bit risky, so I don't think they can hold up to the Hawkfieldson crowd. But hey, we're gonna see. Now, how are we going to compare these teams? Well, here is how we are going to do it. So I talked about zScores earlier, and that's what these scores are. So Real Biathlon gives us these z-scores for basically how they performed in these certain aspects. This is course time or skiing, their shooting score or how their percentage stacked up against other people, and then also their range time, so how quickly they made it through the range. That includes penalty time if there was any. And basically with these z-scores, Real Biathlon has a certain weighted average ratio to determine how much skiing plays in a factor as compared to range time. So after you put all these numbers through the formula, you get what's called a performance score. And what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be comparing performance scores between different athletes and different teams. So, how we're gonna do this is we're going to follow the race as if it was a real race. The racers are on the line, they go off, they do some skiing, they do some shooting, maybe some penalties, probably not. We're gonna pick up the race at the first exchange, just like as if it was a Real Biathlon race. All right, so here we are at exchange number 1, and as you can see, Team Oberhof is currently in the lead with Fabian Cloud shooting 0+1. But really, he had a good ski score, and that is what put them into first place. As you can see, he has the best skiing z-score, which is gonna make up for this +1. Eric Pro, no penalties, and also a pretty darn good skiing score, puts his team in second place, but cannot keep up with Cloud's fast skiing. And also look at this, Cloud had the fastest range time too, so that puts Team Oberhof into first place, but hey, we got tons of race left to go. Let's go on to exchange number 2 now. Okay, here we are into exchange number 2, and now there's a little bit more information, so let's walk through what the heck just happened here. First of all, Team Soldier Hollow is now in first place after an absolutely amazing performance by Tarjei Bo against himself. Absolutely amazing performance by Tarjei Bo. Wow, he was in this. There was a lot of Tarjei Bos on this leg. But with his great shooting, 0+1, and absolutely insane skiing, he just absolutely pulled Soldier Hollow up into first place. Let's go back and see where they were. Exchange 1, they were in 5th place. They went from 5th to first place with this with this performance. So how we're determining this is we're doing a net. So this time right here, this rank right here, the minus 2.79, that's Tarje's minus 1.79, plus it is the performance score from Michael Krishmar on leg number 1. So minus 2.79, and he's got a 0.2% advantage over himself in Hagfeldsen. But all right, I think we're starting to see a little bit of a separation here. Unfortunately, Team Ruhpolding, you are really far behind. I don't see Team Ruhpolding be able to pull this back, just knowing who they have on their team. But yeah, real quick, let's analyze this. Really good skiing from two Tarjes on this one. Really, it was the range time. He shot fast as well, so really good for Tarje Bo on Team Soldier Hollow. All right, let's move on to exchange number 3. Well, the results are the exact same. There was no shakeup in the order. We just had the Bo brothers, the multiple bows out there racing against each other. Team Soldier Hollow stays in the lead, just ahead of Team Hagfeldsen, and they actually opened up a little bit of a gap with clean shooting by Johannes Tinges bow is really good. But you can see that the Johannes Tinges bow who skied in Hagfeldsen did ski a little bit faster, but the Soldier Hollow Johannes Tinges bow put together a great shooting performance, shooting clean, shooting fast, and also skiing fast. He was just barely behind his performance in Hagfeldsen. So Ruhpolding, where were you? Oh no, now you're really falling behind. You're 1.52, so this is tough for the Ruhpolding crew. Even with clean shooting, oh man, Tarje, you just did not ski so well in Ruhpolding there, did you? So let's see here. We have actually a pretty good fight for second place, Hagfeldsen and Oberhof. Let's see who is going to finish this one out. So here we go. Without further ado, we have the finish line. Here is the winner from the Golden Relay competition from 2024. And it's Team Soldier Hollow and Oberhof. Whoa, Hagfeldsen completely lost it on the last lap. They went from 2nd to 5th overall. Ruhpolding actually did pull back a little bit of time, but not enough. Hagfeldsen, Fjellmeyer, man, you really blew it on that lap. He had the 6th leg time on this last lap. Johannes Tinges bow had the best from Oberhof, and that was able to bring them from 3rd into 2nd, take advantage of Hagfeldsen really blowing it there. And then Martin Ponce Loma, actually not a great performance on this last leg, but he got the job done. He had enough of a lead. And let's see, Johannes Tinges, man, he was out for blood. 0+0, skiing really fast. Only Sebastian Samuelsson skied faster than him. Actually, a really good one for Narvat to ski as fast as Johannes Tinges. But who shot the quickest in the range? Looks like it would have been Johannes Tinges. So the man was out for blood from Oberhof. He closed that gap because in this one, they were down by 0.76, and now he's down by 0.25. So he brought back half a performance point, I guess, a score. But that's going to be your final. Here are the final results. Team Soldier Hollow shooting 0+4 and taking the win, and they were the best skiers out there. So that is what I think really brought home the victory for them. And ironically, Team Ruhpolding was some of the fastest shooters and some of the most accurate shooters. They tied with Team Soldier Hollow, but their skiing was just not good enough, and that really had them, really made it so they couldn't compete here. So goes to show you, skiing fast is really important in biathlon. But I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, but Brian, who was the golden relay of the golden relay? And that is why we're going to put together the golden relay team. This is your 2024 golden team, your all-world relay team. And that team is Fabian Claude taking out the first leg, tagging off to Tarjei, you kind of figured he was going to make his way in here somehow. And then you got legs 3 and 4 from Johannes Tingus Bo. So it's actually these two teams, Team Soho and Team Oberhof, were the ones who really fought for the front of the field, and they fought, they're making up our all-star team here. So yeah, really good. 0 plus 2, or sorry, excuse me, 0 plus 2, that's wrong. 0 plus 2 shooting, just absolutely insane skiing from this team, and just overall dominant performance. If this was to be the best relay team that could have been possibly put together in 2024. Next week, I'm gonna be doing the women's golden relay, so hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on that one. But until next time, we'll see ya.